What are some things you find yourself doing more as you get older that you used to criticize your parents for doing when you were younger? Forgetting why I went into a room. Finding a shirt I like, then buying that shirt in several different colors. Basically the goal is to have a wardrobe like a cartoon character. Using coupons and price checking items at different locations to get the best deal. I always thought my parents were being cheap, but getting quality items at discount prices is wonderful. Once you start earning it, you realize how valuable money is. Being frustrated by teenagers. Really? This is what the kids today are wearing? How do you even walk in those pants? Look at them. Loitering. I just want to get my coffee. Move tiny suckers. Move tiny suckers. Ha 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 ha. Live. Making grunting noises when sitting down, getting up, or lifting something. You know you are getting old when you bend down to tie your shoes and wonder what else you can do while you are down there. Staying home on Friday, Saturday nights. Forgetting the name of my kid when I'm trying to tell her something. Hey you there. Damn it. My parents basically will say my entire family before me if they're trying to talk to me. Whenever we kids were fighting, my mom would punish all of us instead of figuring out what happened and actually punishing the perpetrator. Now that I have 4 kids of my own, I've realized Bill Cosby's quote is right on. Parents are not interested in justice, they are interested in peace and quiet. So true. It's difficult to judge situations with kids based on only their testimony. Even if they aren't straight up lying, kids are dang good at telling their side of the story with a spin in their favor. I purposely mispronounce the names of popular toys, shows, etc. just to get a rise out of the kids I babysat. It would drive me up the wall that my parents would call it Pokemon instead of Pokemon. Now I find it hilarious to say crap like, say, is this that new band? One Decision and watch them twitch. I'm gonna poke my sister with the One Decision one really bad, lol. Sleeping in on Christmas Day. Nope. Still too excited. I woke my kids up at 6 o'clock because I was too excited. Not keeping up with new music. I used to be constantly searching for new bands, but now I just mostly listen to the same ones I've known for years. I just have too many other things to do to make an effort. Yes, I have over 10,000 songs on my iPod, but all I ever listen to is Steely Dan. Staying at a job more for money than passion. Naively idealistic younger me would feel betrayed by who I am today, but then, she had no bills to pay. Sometimes you just gotta work it. Drugs. Oh man, them sweet drugs, in that nice little container with the days of the week printed on it. I'm waking up earlier and earlier, especially on the weekends. I haven't started reading the paper yet, though. Maybe Reddit is the paper. Dyeing my hair its former natural color. When I was young I was of the mind people should let themselves age gracefully. Then I got my first gray at like 20. Now at 30 my hair would look like it was attacked by tinsel if I didn't dye it. I used to dye cool colors, like blue and such. Now I'm debating on which shade of brown to do next to hide the grays. Ugh. Wanting to buy old people breakfast food because the bucket of sugar standard the younguns like make my teeth hurt. I don't understand why people don't eat breakfast food for all 3 meals of the day. Singing, especially when my mom would insert my name into songs randomly. Now I sing my cat's names into songs on at least an hourly basis. I hear my dog's names in my head now whenever the songs play. It's permanent now. Wearing sweatpants. Maybe I was just in butthole as a teenager, but I was embarrassed when my friends would come over and my mom was in sweatpants and an old ratty shirt. Never mind the fact that she worked in a factory 40+ hours a week. Now as an adult if I'm home and not planning on going anywhere I'm in sweatpants and them better call before they come over because I'm not wearing a bra either. The only truly successful day off is one where I make it through the day in my PJ pants. Spending a weekend at home instead of loading up the car and driving 3 hours to visit friends and family. Wanting to sleep in my own bed instead of a pull-out couch at a friend's house. You guys never go anywhere. You always stay at home. Ironing. I always used to take the pee out of my mum for her incessant ironing. I caught myself ironing socks the other day. Socks? What the heck, man? This isn't from getting old, this is from getting anal. P. I was in bed by 8:30 last night. I'm 24. Also, stop driving so close to that person in front of you. Unless you wake up at, say, 5 AM for work, you may go full grandpa by the time you're 30. Eating healthy. They were so right. Cake is not a breakfast food. It is if you work in a corporate office. All they put out are high sugar muffins and pastries. I've started calling them breakfast cake. My coworkers love them though, but then they wonder why they are all fat. Taking an unusually long pause before answering a serious or important question. Apparently my father wasn't a freaking moron, and he was doing this is called contemplating. I think that's it. An answer. It's crazy, right? Turns out, sometimes you need to reflect on different options and realize that your decisions have long-term consequences. Who knew? This is genius talk right here. Sometimes we don't contemplate before answering for fear of looking weak in another person's eyes, and sometimes it is just what we need to do before we frick up completely. Stopping and thinking about something just to make sure the obvious good choice is actually the best choice. I'm not as bad as my dad who will overanalyze a parking spot though. Not doing anything on New Year's Eve. Nah is one of the rookies drinking holidays. Stay home to stay safe, that's my policy. I'm about to turn 22 and I'm finding myself listening to all of the music my parents did when I was younger. I remember hating it when we'd take long trips in the car. Now it's all I listen to. I'm not sure if I genuinely like it, I think I do, or if it just brings back memories of simpler times. Asking my wife and kids to buy me socks and underwear for Christmas. Singing along to soft rock at every possible opportunity. I like that old time rock and roll. Forgetting where I put something only minutes after just having it in my hand. I used to give my mom so much flack for that, and now I find myself searching for my keys and other small things mostly that I just had a minute ago. Then spending 20 minutes trying to find said item by retracing my steps, which rarely works. The worst is I get this when I've not moved anywhere. I'm sat down wrapping presents or something, and I've literally not moved, but somehow the scissors have gone walkabout. When I grocery shop I feel which breads are soft, which milk is newest, etc. And I arrange my buggy a certain way. You have become a milkmaid. Listening to talk radio. I love NPR, but then my 16-year-old and 9-year-old love it too, so. Sleeping. I never understood why my parents liked to sleep, and I hated that they made me go to sleep. I now love sleep, and if I could do it forever, I would. What you're describing is death. Griping about new music and or just generally not keeping up with currently popular stuff. What the frick is a Macklemore? I think it's a pelagic fish from the family Scombridae. Writing thank you notes. Once you start giving gifts on a regular basis, you realize how great it feels to receive a thank you note letting you know that the gift found a loving and appreciated home. Hating people that put loud sound systems in their cars. It's the frickin' neighborhood. People are trying to live their lives and de-stress. I don't need some dumb kid driving by blaring music at 10 PM because they think they're being such a badass. I'm 27, looking at a house, and I've been taking notice of how close the property is to a high school just to avoid it from happening more often. I've hated that my entire life. I don't see the point in blasting music to the point where you can't hear anything else. Preferring eating in instead of eating out. I still love to go out to eat, but I love making food just as much. I absolutely hated that my parents rarely took us out to eat when I was little. Now I can appreciate it because it is much cheaper and way healthier. Giving my children a curfew, making sure I know who their friends are and where they are going, making my children do chores. Basically I'm turning into my parents, and now more than ever I realize how great my parents truly were to me growing up. I've turned into my parents, but I feel like I'm even louder and less patient. Falling asleep during a movie. This is now one of my favorite things ever. Not drinking every weekend. Sometimes it is just not worth it. But then there are some days where you can down a nice bottle of scotch by yourself and never be judged for it. Whenever my mom got something in a plastic bag, she would tie a knot with the handles. This made it impossible to reopen without destroying the bag, and I'd always criticize her. She'd counter, saying that it ensured things wouldn't fall out. Needless to say, I've been tying my bags a lot more often lately and I'm moderately afraid. Turning the fricking music down. Just wait till you start getting old man farts. Sounds like you crapped your pants. Feels like you crapped your pants. When go to check, sometimes you really did crap your pants. So what age does this happen? Making punny or literal dad jokes. My little cousin came up to me and said, "Oh, that's so cool." I replied, "No, I honestly think it's a bit lukewarm." Literal dad jokes, finally, a term for this perfect description. Generally not giving a frick in public. I used to be so embarrassed by their complete disregard for the opinions of strangers while we were out, and now I find that I couldn't care less about what randos think of me while I'm out. Saying because I said so. I told myself I'd never do it, but there comes a point in every parent's life when we step back and realize I've just had a 5-minute argument with my 6-year-old about whether or not they need to wash their hands after wiping their butt. Just do it because I told you to. Hating little kids. Now I see why. Get off my lawn, you little suckers. You have been visited by the comfortable garlic bread of good back support. Subscribe to Updoot Reddit in 3 weeks or never sit comfortably again. You have a lot of time for this one. I understand if you're busy, no rush. Like and subscribe, you magnificent person.